There we are.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. Here we are, Dr. Julie Gilbert and Coach Rachel Matthews,
Hey,
joining
everybody.
you, joining you live from Oregon Weight and Wellness. And Rachel and I both enjoyed, what was the name of that?
Yeah, it was
No.
the Food Revolution. That's the
Mhm.
name of the organization. And then it was their
Right.
summit,
Yeah, their
a
food,
week-long
they
summit.
offered their speakers presentations free.
Yeah.
And so, anyway, we were just chit-chatting about some takeaways from that, and Rachel was reminding me, and just the testimonies of our own patients who
Mhm.
move from ultra-processed
Yeah.
to plant strong, plant forward eating, clean eating, and the difference in the way they feel. So, Rachel, take it away. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was just, the food summit over the weekend just reminded me that when people switch from processed foods or really poor nutritional,
Right.
foods that don't have a lot of nutrition in them, and then they switch over to a whole real food, plant strong, and they're hitting all of the nutrients that they need. They start
Hmm.
to feel better, but
Right.
it's not just, oh, I feel a little better. It's the brain fog is gone,
Right.
some
Yeah.
clarity. I feel more positive. I feel happy about the choices I'm making. There's a momentum and a positivity. So
Right.
that was a lot of the testimonies over the weekend in the plant summit or the food summit. And then just this morning, I was speaking with one of our patients, and he was talking about how he has hated vegetables. He realizes he's a grown up and should eat them, but feels as though they're a chore. They taste
Hmm.
horrible. And his wife, on the other hand, has always been great about eating vegetables. So this has always been something he's avoided. He's recently been cleaning up his diet and realized I have got to eat vegetables, and
Hmm.
decided he would start with a juicer. So a juicer is a way to get a lot of vegetables in. Typically, it takes a lot of the roughage out. So while you're missing out on some of the fiber that you really need, you are starting to change.
Concentrating.
You're concentrating the nutrients, and you're starting to get your taste buds, your palate goes into training a little bit, because you can make it still taste really good.
Hmm.
And he's been loving it. But one of the most profound things he said, and I didn't point it out or anything. I think he just said it, and I kind of took note. Is that he said, "I feel so clear. I feel so
Mm.
much more positive. My energy." He said he had this like expounding energy. He's like, "I realize I've been like asleep. I've been like in a
Right.
fog." And it
Right.
was so awesome to hear the power of that. And he's only been juicing for maybe 2 weeks, but not every
Right.
day.
Right.
Like he's just getting
Yeah.
in.
I love that, Rachel,
Mhm.
because it's really energy at the mitochondrial and cellular level, because you're bringing in these key vitamins and minerals from the vegetables, mostly above ground, non-starchy vegetables
Yeah.
that that make your cells work right, right? And so it's very exciting because that clarity there. And there was something a lot of times we hear people say, "Oh, I don't like vegetables." Well, we have to kind of get curious around that, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
When did we stop or not? When did we start believing that we don't like vegetables? And sometimes we can trace it all the way back to the cafeteria at school, and they plopped on these gross, mushy, gushy green beans that had their life cooked out of them. And and they taste terrible, and that's stuck in our memory, and that's the way green beans taste
Right.
forever and ever, amen.
Yeah.
And so, but if we give ourselves another chance and say, maybe I can fix that a different way. I wonder what a green bean tastes like raw. What does it taste if I saute it? How about if I roast it? How about if I add a little bit of herbs and spices to it? Would that make it taste better? That sort of thing.
Exactly. You're exactly right. It's a story that we've told ourselves,
Hmm.
and we just continue to believe it because once we start to tell ourselves a story, now it may have been true. Maybe you hated green beans when you were a kid, and that may have been true for the time. But wherever you are now, that story is no longer serving you. It's an
Right.
identity that is no longer helpful.
Yeah.
And we can overcome that. Now, maybe you'll never like green beans. That's fine. But there are hundreds of other
Right.
vegetables
Exactly.
and fruits that we can enjoy. And it really does take another approach and say, I love that you use the word curious because, man, if we can approach all of our health and wellness journey with curiosity, I
Hmm.
wonder what would happen if.
Hmm.
What would it say about me if I tried it again?
Right.
If I liked it again?
Yeah.
Uh-oh, who does that say I am?
Right.
Right? And then,
Right.
and truly, I think that people at the core want to like vegetables. Like, I think that there's an innate, I mean, this is from the earth, right? These are foods that are, it's part of the bounty that we
Right.
have. And I think people are drawn to it. There's a connection there that we want to like them. We know why we should like them.
Right.
And when we start to do that, like a lot of patients will say, I feel like such a grown up. It's like,
I
yay
eat my
me.
vegetables. Yeah.
And it's
It's
true. We
awesome.
feel good about it. And
That's
it
good.
makes our
Yeah.
bodies feel good.
Right. And I like to remind people, Rachel, that, especially if they have kids, how many times did we have to,
Mhm.
introduce a new food to our kids? Not once, not twice. Oftentimes it takes 12 up to 15 times to introduce a food to a child, to
Mhm.
the child accept that into their palate. And so,
Mhm.
you can be a child again and experiment and try it again and try it in a new way, a different way, and then start identifying as a person who eats vegetables. Right.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, I like vegetables. Another thing I hear people say a lot is, well, I only like vegetables if they're smothered in ranch dressing, or
Uh-huh.
I only like them if they're just
Right.
swimming in oils and butters and different oils. If that's the gateway
Mm-hmm.
to vegetables,
Mm-hmm.
better to eat the vegetables than not. Would you agree
Yeah.
with that?
Yeah, I agree with that. And we can even improve upon that. So that's getting a step in a direction. Yeah, a step in a direction, which I
Uh-huh.
love. Also, I'm going to add that when you pair vegetables, some nutrients with a natural fat,
Yeah.
yeah, like found in seeds or nuts, or
Mhm.
even or all the olives, olive oil, a little bit of olive oil, avocado. When you pair that with especially the fat soluble vitamins that are in these vegetables, you are going to absorb that nutrient better. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes,
Hmm.
and that's why a lot of times we have citrus type dressings or things that are on our salads or different
Hmm.
vegetables. Because also the citrus is going to help us absorb certain nutrients better. So there's a reason for it, but we can use those oils, and maybe we're using Hidden Valley ranch dressing.
Right.
Pretty processed. It's shelf stable for 100
Hmm.
years.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Maybe
But
not the best for us. Yeah.
maybe not the best, but will it get you to eat that salad?
Yeah.
Okay. Now,
Okay.
what
Now
if
what? Yeah.
what if you went from having a quarter of a cup of dressing on your salad, I don't know, to what if it was a tablespoon? And then what if you started making your own? And then what if you tried some vinegar-based dressings, right? So
Hmm.
it's
Hmm.
a metamorphosis, um,
Right.
but we got to start somewhere. And
Hmm.
some vegetables is better than no vegetables.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sarah's joined us and she says, I love seasoning and herbs on veggies. Yeah. So you were telling me about something you made yesterday that had a lot of herbs and spices in it, Rachel. What seasonings did you put on your vegetables?
Well, so in the masala that I was telling you about,
Yeah, yeah. Uh-huh.
it was, it's interesting. I've been doing a lot more. I think that's an Indian dish. Is that
Hmm.
right? Okay.
That's my understanding. Yeah. Hmm.
Okay. I did not grow up eating a lot of Indian dishes, and only recently have I discovered that I'm a huge fan and I want to eat it every night. So I'm buying all these new spices that I've never had before, but one of them was the marsala spice in a,
Hmm.
which
Yeah.
has all sorts of
Like
seasonings.
garam masala, is that what you're talking about?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Thank you. Yes. And then coriander, which I've never cooked with much.
Mm-hmm.
Um, there was some hot, like I think we put some red pepper or cayenne or something in there, tomato paste,
Mm-hmm.
but just these spices that I'm kind
Onion,
of,
garlic, probably.
yes, garlic and onion powder, and I cooked with garlic, and it actually was a sauce that you use the immersion. Remember
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
you're very good at charades. The immersion blender, right? Yes. To make it really creamy, and oh my
Yeah.
gosh, it was so incredible. And but these are spices that are being awoken in me, and I'm like,
Right.
wow, I could put this on so many different things. So I'm really loving exploring more than just salt and pepper.
Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah. And that's awesome. Because I grew up with salt, pepper, garlic. I mean,
Hmm.
love my mom, and I'm not going to not dissing or my mom or throwing her under the bus, but yeah, expanding on that has been really awesome. And
Yes.
yeah, so all right, so that's what you made, that chicken mus or not chicken. You didn't use chicken. You
Chickpea.
used
Chickpea.
um, chickpea. Thank you,
Yeah.
chickpea,
Chickpea.
not chicken,
Not chickpea.
chickpea.
Pretty close. And what was great is I'll tell you that it made this huge amount of sauce, and we had
Uh-huh.
a little bit of brown rice and the chickpeas. But then the next day we had leftover, and I thought, okay,
Mhm.
I'm gonna level this up a little bit, because it was the first time I'd ever made the recipe, so I wanted to do it as is the first time
Mhm.
with all the leftover sauce. I steamed up a bag of frozen. This was for lunch, so I was like, okay, what's quick and ready? A bag of frozen multi-rainbow colored cauliflower I get from Trader Joe's, and then steamed that up. And I threw in some extra tofu, and I threw in some hemp seeds. And I mean, it was like, oh, and I put it on a base of spinach, chopped spinach.
Oh, wow.
So now I had this bed of greens, and I went away with the rice. I didn't need it that day, so didn't need that carbohydrate for this meal. And I changed it up, and it was just as good, but transformed.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. So you just took one meal,
mhm.
and then you built, expanded, added, got creative with it, and you come up with these other things too. That's great. Yeah. So getting in that kitchen and experimenting, exploring, not being afraid of, maybe it doesn't turn out. So what? You
Right.
know?
Right. I mean, I just kept throwing things in the bowl. I'm like, I don't know what this is anymore. It's certainly not an Indian dish. It's sort of, I don't even know, but it didn't matter. And
Right.
it was, but the good news was I was starting off with something flavorful, and
Right.
and I knew delicious, that could just, so it was basically a big bowl of just,
Yeah.
I don't know,
Yeah.
mulligatawny. I don't know, but it was so, so, so good.
Yeah.
And look, I think Sarah, did you
Yeah.
get that?
Yeah,
What
I
did you
did. Yeah,
I
Sarah says, I also find the differences in taste of veggies and how I cook them. Oven, Traeger, grill, so many options besides steamed. I thank you for saying that, because, yeah, etc. I guess it's about getting creative and mix it up. Be curious. I love that. That's great. And that's, so many of us think, losing weight, that means steamed vegetables, period. End of story. That's all there is. Steamed vegetables. And although it is true, I will say, to bring out some of in certain vegetables, to bring out nutrients in their most bioavailable way, it is important to cook them a little bit.
Mhm.
Yeah. Steaming is not the only way to do that. And yeah, so appreciate that. Right. So we have this mindset, this
Mhm.
mentality that I can only do it this way, or vegetables are only good if I do it this way,
Yeah.
but there's so many other ways. And now I am going to say deep frying them, not the direction we're going. Right.
Wrong path.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But
Okay.
air frying, what about
Air
air frying?
frying. Yeah. Yeah. Not, yeah, that can be great.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, this is great. And I hope it's inspiring people to get
Yeah.
out there and try new things. I never knew I loved Brussels sprouts until I roasted them.
Oh,
Um, yeah.
Hmm.
with salt, pepper, garlic, and actually vinegar. And I used a little bit of olive oil afterwards because I didn't want to burn the oil. But I cut them up small. I didn't eat the whole thing.
Hmm.
I sliced them up small. And now I eat Brussels sprouts in my salad. I mean, I just didn't know. I
Hmm.
didn't know until, I mean, I had the steamed Brussels sprouts in my mind, imprinted,
Yes.
and I wouldn't let it go. And then, yeah, tried it again. And yeah,
That's one of
I
my
love Brussels
favorite ways
sprouts.
to have Brussels sprouts is baked. Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
right.
So good. All
It
right,
is so good.
Julie. So what's for dinner for you tonight?
Okay, what's for dinner for me? Well, my son is home from college and he is chef extraordinaire. So he is actually um, planning dinner tonight. And I don't know what he's planning, but I'll tell you what he made last night,
Okay, good.
which
Perfect.
was yeah, which was he made this beautiful marinara sauce and all from scratch. Well, he used canned tomatoes, but other than that, he started with a mirepoix with the onion, celery.
Ooh,
What else is in there? Carrots
ooh.
chopped up and then sautéed, and he used a little white wine in that to reduce it, and then his tomatoes, and then of course all the Italian herbs and spices, which are what usually oregano and rosemary and
Yeah.
thyme and
Oh,
parsley.
yeah.
Yeah, what and then yeah, there's garlic in there too, and yeah, and we had this beautiful. It was gorgeous tomato marinara sauce, and I don't eat mine over pasta because I have difficulty with grain, a lot of grain. So, but I can use a lentil pasta,
Ah,
or I use a zucchini that's
mm,
a
the zoodler.
zoodler spiralized, yeah, and that
Fertilizer.
works well for me. So
Mm,
yeah,
that I did not know your boy was such a chef
he's pretty
extraordinaire.
darn good. He makes this aioli sauce that is really good.
You should
Yeah,
keep him around. Bring him home
yeah,
from college more frequently.
yeah. How about you?
So for dinner, I think my husband will probably took the leftovers from dinner last night. So I don't
Uh-huh.
think that's for dinner tonight. I downloaded another recipe though from the Food Summit that
Oh,
is
okay.
a cabbage slaw that
Oh,
does not use mayo. So I can't remember what she uses, but tons of ingredients that I've never really put in a slaw before.
uh-huh.
And then so that'll be kind of our base, and then what we'll throw maybe some chopped up tempeh on top.
Hmm.
Um, and maybe some more, I'm not sure, some nuts or seeds. I know there's a lot of sesame seeds in this dish, so that'll be
Hmm.
really, really crunchy.
Yeah.
Um, and a few raisins actually, which I think is really
Mm,
interesting.
yeah.
So that's what I'm trying.
All right. Awesome.
Yeah.
Perfect. All right. Well, thank you very much for joining us. And if you have any questions about anything that we've talked about, feel free to call us at Oregon Weight and Wellness. Check us out online, OregonWeightandWellness.com, or give us a call, 971-273-7143. Sarah's going to have grilled salmon, blueberry avocado spinach salad, and oven roasted Brussels sprouts. Wow.
We should be going to her house.
Yes. Yeah. When's the invitation? So,
What's
all right.
happening, Sarah? Way to
Yeah.
go. You're nailing it, girl.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much for your time today, Rachel, and we'll
Yes.
talk soon. Okay.
As always, see you guys.
Bye bye.